Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Axiom Games LLC proudly brings to you its Upper Hand Development Diary number 2. That's right, guys. I'm back. Zachariah Van Sliders here with Axiom Games LLC. We are still working on our first ever game. My hair is crazy today. I'm sorry. Hair's crazy. Facial hair is disheveled, but that's wrestler. That's wrestler all the way, baby. That's wrestler all the way. So yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. I told you I'd try and do this weekly, and I'm sticking to it. Development Diary number 2. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about the wonderful new game that we are finally developing for Axiom Games LLC, our first ever tabletop RPG. And I'm really excited about this, and to kind of get people ready for it, to kind of share with you guys information. I've always found in all my endeavors that the best way to do stuff like that is to just be transparent and open. So we're doing that. We're going to be transparent and open with you guys. We're going to talk about it. Now, credits here. Right here, you're seeing what's going to eventually be the cover to our book. We need to do some shading and obviously add like stuff to it. But that's going to be the front page cover. And that was drawn by Mr. Phil Blazik. We thank him for that. And then, of course, down here, you're seeing Upper Hand. That's the card backing. And obviously the title of our first game. And just really quickly to recap, Upper Hand is a tabletop role-playing game where it's wrestling. It's wrestling, guys. I love wrestling. I love tabletop role-playing games. And, that's what we're doing. So, Development Diary number 1, I kind of gave you guys a little bit of an intro to the company. I kind of gave you guys an idea of who we are and kind of an overview of what we were doing with this game. So now I want to get a little bit more in depth on the game itself. I want to talk about the game itself. I want to also give you guys updates with this. And just overall communicate with you guys on a level. Because I want to communicate with you guys on a level, I just want you guys to know if you do comment on any one of these developmental diaries, when I come back for the next episode, I'll read your comments, I'll answer questions, anything you've got to ask, anything you want to know about the rules, anything you want to know about, anything I can answer, I will answer you. So if you feel questions or comments are welcome. I will read them out and talk to you guys directly. As far as the update on the game's progress, it's where we should start on all of these things since it is a developmental diary. We, finalized the card design this last Thursday. We sent away for our first initial decks. Very excited about that. I will show them to you guys when they come in, but it does take a little bit for them to get shipped out. Now, I'm super excited about that. We have changed a lot of the design from the cards that I showed you last week, which I don't have one in front of me. How unprepared am I? Sad. But we changed some fonts. We changed some coloring, some bordering. We made them look really fancy and interesting for you guys. So that was our most recent thing. We've got to go through and start doing some editing. I've got some playtests scheduled. One this Friday. Hopefully I can get some more grainy cell phone video of it or a match in there somewhere. I'd love to do that and post that in one of these. Now, as far as the game itself, what I want to talk to you guys about today, like I said, with this developmental diary, I want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a vague tour of the game, kind of get you guys excited about it, give you an idea of what the game's going to be sitting down and playing. Now, last week you got to see a full round get played out between two fellows, that being Phil Blazik, our wonderful artist, and Roger the Shrubber, who remains stalwart in his need not to be on the internet, and we respect that. But you got to see them play out a little bit of the cards. Obviously, with little context, it's hard to know what's going on, and we'll probably go in depth on some of that play eventually in one of these developments. But I wanted to kind of take it back a little bit, talk to you guys about the overview of what the game is, as like how you'll be game mastering and how you'll be running it. And of course, I want to keep these videos to roughly about 10 minutes long. I don't want to overstay my welcome in the weeks. So I'm going to try and cut myself off. But the first thing you'll do, every player And that's right. There's no designated game master unless you guys want it. You can play any way you want, but the game itself is designed to not have a stable one-person game master. We'll get into that in a second. But you'll all make characters, and I want to show you what's exciting about these characters is that they fit on one 5x7 index card. Everything you need for the character. Everything. And some of this stuff is extra. Some of this stuff is added. You'll see here, right here, these stats. These are the stats. Just 3 stats. They tell you how well you soak and how well you deal damage. And then you've got 3 SIGs. You see SIG is signature maneuvers. Those are like your finishers, your big moves. And they're more like, they're the bulk of what'll take you time with the character sheet is designing your signatures. The stats are real easy. It's 10 points divided between the 3 stats. Can't have anything below... can't have anything above a 7 or below a 1, and that's all that goes into it. Then you can see there's like a style up here. It's so hard to see a style up here. We got a submission professional. That you will pick like a class that gives you a strength, which is an always. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong side. A strength, which is an always-on buff, a weakness, which is an always-on nerf, and then an ability, which is a once per match sort of thing to turn the tide, turn the tide in the favor of your wrestler. Then, of course, you'll build the signatures. Now, this handwriting is done by Mr. Phil Blazik, who's wonderful handwriting. You can see that this is Doc Holliday is modeling the character sheet today. He's always Doc Holliday in wrestling games. Always. It's his wrestler. It's wonderful. So yeah, and you can see he's got the 3 signatures, and what signatures are more about like effects. They apply status effects and other sorts of things to your opponents outside of what a normal basic move would do. So yeah, so character creation is really easy. Definitely something I wanted to talk to you about. The name of this game is Ease and Speed. We want you to get into the game. We want you to get into the fun fast, and we want the fun to be quick and to the point and concise, and then so that you can move on to more fun. So what you'll then do with your players, however many they are, is you guys get to, like, after you've made your little characters, you get to make all the characters for your promotion. Now, what's even more fun, you're probably saying, Zach, I mean, right off the bat, that doesn't sound quick. That doesn't sound easy. Us making, like, 12 NPC wrestlers, that doesn't sound fun. Well, we're going to be including on the internet for free a tool, which you just go to this place, you click a button, and it generates a wrestler for you. You'll have to come up with some of the finer tuning of it, like what the moves look like, and maybe some of the backstory, but it'll tell you the style, his basic background, all of his stats, his or hers, all of their stats, and all of the signatures that they do. My wonderful partner, who still we haven't seen in this yet, Mr. Mark Bell, is working on that as well as many other things for the game. He is a champion, my friends, a champion when it comes to doing stuff. We're working on that, and that'll be out. So you'll be basically just be able to go there, hit a button, copy down the stats, hit a button, copy down the stats, or print them off, or even save them to whatever phone, so that you don't have to worry about sitting there and making all 8 wrestlers. Although I'll tell you what, personally, that's fun for me. I'll just sit there and make wrestlers all day long. But that's not what you came here to hear about, and I'm already running out of time. So basically what then you'll do with your friends is you'll decide what your promotion is. What kind of divisions do you have in there? Are you a singles promotion? Do you have tag team wrestling? Do you have women wrestling, or do you have intergender wrestling just all the way around? Do you have hardcore stuff? Are you all hardcore like GZW? Are you a little bit more sports entertainment like WWE? Are you somewhere in between like AEW and Impact? Do you have the mystical stuff like Impact has a Minotaur in their league, no problem, and of course the Undertaker, everybody knows who him. Do you have that kind of stuff? You guys get to decide the feel of your promotion. While you're doing that, decide the titles and the makeup of your promotion. Once you have all that kind of like written down in the notebook that you guys can pass around, somebody can you can take turns being the record keeper, whatever you want to do. You'll then take turns booking matches and promos. So what you'll do is somebody will book a match and they'll be like, I want this person versus this person, maybe for a title, maybe not. And then they book that match. That goes on to the match card. And then somebody else will be like, well, I want a backstage promo with this person. And then you'll put that on the card. And then what's interesting is whoever books the thing becomes the producer of that spot. So you'll actually rotate around being producers of your own matches. Oh, not your own matches, of other people's. You can't be the producer unless you do some crazy stuff with push points. We'll get to probably in a later development diary because I've already talked too long. But you can actually you actually produce it. So when the time comes for the promo, you are the person who has to play all the NPCs. You get to decide how the story progresses. What's interesting here too is it allows you and your friends to play on multiple different levels. Not only are you playing as your wrestler trying to make those achievements, trying to get those titles, trying to win those accomplishments and win those rivalries, you also get to play as a producer, partially managing a wrestling federation, setting up the matches. And there is actually at the end, which we're not going to get to today, we'll have to talk about it next week. There's actually at the end, you get rewarded on whether or not your show was booked the best, your matches were booked the best, which actually gives you more power the next show to book bigger and crazier matches. So you're playing on multiple levels here, which makes it really interesting. You're not just playing in your match, you're playing in every match, and that keeps all the players engaged at all times through the entirety of a show. So it's that's one of the things that I've been really excited to talk to you guys about. Is it's really kind of game masterless in that way. Everybody's playing and everybody's game mastering. It's kind of a community effort, and I personally I played a lot of tabletop role playing games, though I gotta say, there's a lot of stuff that's come out now that's crazy and trend setting and outside the box for me that I've never tried. But as far as I'm known, I've never played a game like that, so I'm kind of excited to see what everybody does with it with their own leagues and stuff. So I'm gonna wrap this thing up here because I've already talked about 2 minutes longer than I should have. But next week we'll get more into that. I want to talk about advancement in the game and lack thereof. I want to talk about push points and how you advance and some of the more nittier grittier stuff next time. And then of course we'll do our update. We'll tell you where we are in the process of actually getting this game out, getting it to release. But yeah, man, I'm so glad to share this with you guys. And again, if you guys comment or if you have any questions, any comments you want me to read out, talk about, whatever, comment below, please, and I will answer them as best I can. Obviously, I'm not going to give away every trade secret, and there's still a couple of unknown factors. Don't ask me about price yet. We're trying to get it as cheap as humanly possible, but because that's kind of our motto here, but we don't know what the price is going to be yet, especially since you have to buy cards with this, and the cards are sold kind of weirdly separately. Like I said, I'll tell more about that later, but just don't ask me about price. Everything else, ask me about. Ask me about anything you want to know about, and I'll answer it, comment on it, or whatever. I mean, heck, ask me about price. I'll do the best I can to answer it. I'm warning you, I won't have as much concrete answers there. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. You can see that I'm jazzed. I'm a 40-year-old man who has played role-playing games his entire life, and 90% of them have been homebrews that I've come up with myself. So I'm super excited to actually produce and release a game. And the people around me who are helping me do this and being a part of this are so awesome as well. So I'm excited about this. We'll see you guys next week, and that's it. We'll see you next week.